Hey guys, so today I just felt like doing some sort of random makeup look. I'm not sure what I'm really going for yet. I just kind of felt like playing with some makeup in my collection, so hope you guys enjoy. So usually I have oily to combination skin, but lately my skin has been drying out a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's because we're going into these winter months, so it's not as oily as it used to be in the summertime. But I'm just going to go ahead and prime my face. I'm going to use my Benefit Porefessional. So now that my face is primed, I'm just going to take foundation. Today I'm going to use my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. So today I'm just going to be applying my foundation with my IT Cosmetics Airbrush Blurring Foundation Brush. Okay, for my next step, it's going to be under eye concealer. Obviously, I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in the Neutralizer shade. You guys know I can't get enough of this. And I'm going to blend that out with the same brush. And then to set my concealer and highlight, I'm going to be using that baking method. So I'm going to take my Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder. This is the translucent one, of course. And then I'm just going to take a dry beauty blender. And what I do is I just take the powder and I take the beauty blender and I just rub it on there. So you just get all that white powder, and then I will just bounce that wherever I just put all of my concealer. And I honestly go pretty heavy-handed with this because we're going to go off and brush off the excess later. But since it gives like almost a white appearance, it is very, very highlighting. So it's just an extra step in the highlighting process. So while that product is baking, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows. And of course, I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in taupe. Same kind of deal that I always do. Nothing out of the norm here. So I'll just speed through this really quick. And then a secret I use for setting my brows is I actually just take an old mascara wand. This is a old Great Lash clear mascara wand. And then I just take my hairspray and I use the Beyond the Zone Smooth Criminal. This is a humidity blocking hairspray. And then I spray a little bit onto the wand and just put that through my brows. It's way cheaper than brow gel and it holds up like 5 times as well. Okay, so now that our brows are done, we're going to go back to setting our foundation. So just take a powder brush. This is a tapered powder brush. I'm just going to go in there and dust off any excess powder. And we still have that highlighted look. And then I'm just going to take a little bit and set down whatever I didn't set. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and contour my face. So I'm going to use my Contour Kit by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm going to use the Sephora Pro Angled Contour Brush and just in that fawn shade right here. So then on a regular powder brush, I'm just going to mix together the shade Java and the shade Havana. And I put that slightly above where I put the fawn shade because that's more of a cool tone shade. So I want that to represent a shadow. And then I put the warmer shades up on top of my cheekbone almost to give it a gradient effect into my skin. That way I don't look dead. So that's the deal with like highlighting and contour. Next up, I think I'm gonna do some blush. Let's do a NARS blush today. I'm gonna take this on an angled blush brush. Nope, I lied. I'm taking it on a stippling brush. This is the Real Technique stippling brush, and this is the NARS blush and the very inappropriate name, Deepthroat. So, horrible names, great colors. And it looks like this. It's just a very peachy, pinky, super glittery blush. So I'm just going to take a little bit of it. And I'm going to put that on the apples of my cheeks. So blush is all done. Let's go into eyeshadow now. I'm not going to prime my lids because I put that concealer on top of my eyelids and then I put the powder on top so that can act as a base, because I find that when I put on a primer on top of that, it starts to like bead up kind of, like it's too much product. So I don't have much of a problem with my eyeshadows creasing, so I'm just going to skip primer today. Main palette that I want to use is my Morphe 350 palette. This is just a really awesome, versatile fall palette, and I know a lot of people have this or are ordering this, so having a lot of options for it could be good for you guys. I'm going to start off with a base shade on my lid. I'm going to go in with this shade here, the second shade in the first row. Next up, I'm going to go in with a transition shade. I'm just going to use this bright peach. My hand was totally blocking that. I'm just going to use that bright peach right there. Okay, so next up, I want to go ahead and start building my crease. So I'm just going to take that camel shade right here. Oh, this is probably my favorite eyeshadow in this entire palette. It's so unique. And I'm just going to put this in the crease just a tiny bit below that peach shade. And then I'm going in with this brown right here. I'm going to go ahead and switch up my brush. I'm going to a rounder crease brush. And I'm just going to continue the trend where I go a little bit lower than the last shade that I put on. But this one I'm going to blend throughout the outer half of my lid. When I'm doing eyeshadow like this, I always like to look down into my mirror because I find that I can actually see my entire lid space instead of looking straight ahead and then it being all bunched up. So you can get a better blend like this, I've found. Then I'm just going to go back and blend out those lines. Okay, so I want to go ahead and add in a gold, and I was debating between the two golds in this palette, which are right here and right here, but I don't know, I'm not feeling it. I might use this one a little bit, but my main gold that I'm going to do is the Loreal Infallible eyeshadow. This is in the shade Eternal Sunshine, and I'm going to use my finger to pack this on. And I'm going to put this all over the center in the inner third of my lid. I just want to build up that gold shade a little bit, so I'm going to take that one in the palette that I showed you earlier and just put that on top. completely optional step. I don't think anybody will even be able to tell I did this, but I'm doing it. And then I'll go in with my blending brush and just go over those edges a little bit. So the next shade I want to take from this palette is this reddish brown right there in the middle. And I'm going to do the exact same thing, except I'm going to take this about halfway through my crease and then stop and focus it on like that outer V. And this is really going to build that shape that we're looking for in a smoked out eye. I guess I'm doing a golden smoky fall eye. That's what this video has turned into. And while you're doing this, I use my brush to kind of carve out the shape I want. So I'm going to a more, almost like I would with winged eyeliner, just like a more cat eye shape. And we'll go in and blend out the edges later. And sticking with the same brush, I'm just going to use a little bit of that blackish, grayish brown and just put this strictly in the outer V, just to create that depth. And then I'm just going to go back in with my fluffy blending brush and blend out those edges like crazy. If you're having trouble blending out, just go back in with that peachy shade and use that to blend out any lines. And I always like to make sure I blend out this line too, right under that wing. That way it's not harsh. And then I'm just going to mess around with my lower lash line a little bit. So I'm going to go back in with that first brown shade that we took, so this one right here. And I'm going to put that all the way from my lash line over to the inner corner of my iris. So right where the color ends in your iris, that's where you want to stop. And then I'm going to take that reddish brown, pretty light-handed with this one now, just in the outer corner. So this one we're going to take up until the edge of the color in your eye starts. And then lastly, I'm just going to take a little bit of that grayish brown, and this I'm just going to put on the very edge, like just as much as my brush can touch. That's all that's going on there. All right, so the eyeshadow is pretty much complete. Last step is just a highlight, and of course I'm going to go in with the white, almost white shade in the palette. Oh, this is my favorite highlight shade of all time. I'm just putting that on my brow bone. This really completes the look, pulls it all together. And then a little tip I like to do, I will just take this, I'm doing this on a flat definer brush. So it is completely flat on the end, has a little bit of something there, but it's completely flat, and I just go in with that white shade and then I drag it under that crease to give it a more defined kind of look to it. It's hard to explain, I'll show you. So highlighting the area underneath the wing will just give it more definition. Okay, and last step is inner corner highlight, and I'm just going on a very, very tiny flat shader brush, and I'm just going into that white shade. Just gonna put this in my inner corner. Okay, so that's pretty much the eyeshadow. I'm gonna go in with liner next. Starting off, I'm going to take this Stila Smudgestick in the shade Damsel. This is just a dark warm toned brown, and I'm just going to put this in my tight line and my waterline. And then I'm going to do, I'm gonna try to do a thin line and a small wing, and I'm gonna use my Kat Von D tattoo liner. This is in the shade Trooper. This is just a black shade. Wish me luck, guys. Don't you hate doing liquid eyeliner after you have like perfect eyeshadow? You're like, this is about to go south. I can tell where this is going, and this isn't gonna make me very happy. So when I do my winged eyeliner, I'm just gonna try to follow that line that I created with the shadow. Not kidding, straight up baby wing. I'm feeling it. Okay, so eyeliner is on. Next step is mascara. You can go ahead and throw on some false lashes now. I'm gonna skip the falsies today because, I don't know. Personally, I have pretty long eyelashes, so I don't feel the need to wear falsies every day. Most of the time, my Better Than Sex mascara does it for me. If you want to chuck on some fake lashes, go ahead. Nothing's stopping you. You do you, girl. Poor guy. You do you. That is the point of this story. Okay, so that is my upper lash mascara. And then I'll just check on some lower lash mascara. This is the YSL Baby Doll. I'm gonna give you guys two lip options for this. So if you guys watched my October favorites, you already know this is my favorite nude for fall. I've been wearing this pretty much every single day. This is MAC's Velvet Teddy. So if you want a more neutral option to wear with this, I would say go with this. So that is it with the nude option. Definitely very pretty, daytime appropriate. So, and now I'm gonna give you guys a bold lip option. So just make sure before you apply this lip color that you exfoliate your lips. And then I'm going to start off with my NYX Lip Liner. This is in the shade Plum. And make sure this is nice and sharp. Not sharp like stab, but like sharpened. And just go ahead and line your lips and then fill them in. Also, don't judge me if my lines look really bad because I'm not good at this. And then for my lip color, if you watched my October favorites, you would have also seen this one. I'm going to use the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Copenhagen. You're going to have to be really patient with this lip color because you do have to build it up a little bit. It definitely takes a lot of effort, but I'd say the color is worth it. It's really pretty dark berry. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye!